What's up everyone and welcome back to the channel. In this video we are gonna talk about all the mythic heroes. I'm gonna detail them, what content they are good in, and I'm gonna tell you what hero you should pick first depending on your account, where you are situated at the moment. I'm gonna give you all the tips I have, all the things I know about the mythic heroes, so let's do it. Okay, so first of all, let's talk about the best one, because this is the question you want an answer. This is the best mythic hero you want to pick first on your journey on Infinite Magicraid. I am always going for Nordak after his recent rework. He is such an amazing hero. You can use him everywhere, PvE, PvP, all the content in the game almost, because there is some specific elemental city rotation where you don't need shields, otherwise you're gonna die. So he is an amazing hero thanks to his unique ultimate here. You can apply damage, immunity and block debuff to all your team for 2 turns, and this is so great because it has only a 4-turn cooldown. If you are using him with a hero that reduces cooldown such as Marvel or Lydia exclusive 2, and this is the best hero to pair with him, then he is gonna cycle his ultimate, protecting your entire team for the entire fight. This is such a powerful utility here. The best in the game. This is the only support you want to bring for sure to push high content in the game. If you don't have him, it's gonna be hard to push the content in the game. If you want to know, here if you go on the Dwarven Ruins on ROM, for example, if you have a look to ROM 39, here you have the lineups used by players, and you have Nordak. Nordak is just everywhere because he is such a great unit to have. Okay, so Nordak is also providing other stuff to your heroes. Passively at the end of every ally turn, he's gonna give you a shield to your heroes based on his own max HP, and also he is gonna increase the max HP passively of all your heroes by a lot. The more the HP you have on him, the better the shield, and the higher the HP on your other heroes. He is such an amazing hero. He provides a big shield with the first active skill, and with the basic attack he deals an insane amount of damage if he has the exclusive one. He is a great damage dealer and the best support in the game. So this is the top one hero I want you to pick. Yeah, if you don't have him, it's gonna be hard, and you have to go until he is exclusive 3, okay? It's okay to pick a support as a mythic hero first, because you have a ton of DPS as a legendary hero, so you can make your team, and he's gonna protect you, so you are gonna be able to push higher content. Then the second one I recommend to pick is for sure Nita, because the same comment, she is great in all content in the game. She can deal a crazy amount of poison damage, destroying waves in dungeons, and PvP also. She destroys the enemy, especially if you are using her with Focus or other heroes to increase her attack here, such as Rista or Esther, for example, or Bizidon. She is an amazing hero. Also, she's interesting for many content because she is immune to all dots, okay, so she can be killed only using direct damage, and poisons are gonna heal her. She is so great for that, and sometimes if you are playing her with a poison team, every time proactively you are gonna put a poison on enemies, then she's gonna get some specific layers, and once she reaches 8 layers of poisonous seed, she's gonna use the first active skill here without using the cooldown during the fight, dealing extra damage. She can block buff on enemies, she can apply a ton of poisons and trigger poisons with the ultimate. She can apply deep poisoning too, increasing your poison damage by 50%. This is one of the best DPS in the game, and this is the mythic hero. And so once you have these 2 units, you have the best support, you have one of the best DPS in the game, and basically if you have a look again in Dwarven Ruins here, you might have seen some Nita with Nordak here. As you can see, a Nordak Nita here, a Nordak Nita, okay, so Nordak Nita also. In high dungeons, These two heroes are so great, and people are using Nita here, but the boss is on taking more poison damage. This is to say that that hero, Nita, is such a great one. And if you have a look in PvP, for example, here, if you have a look to some teams for Advanced Arena, for example, this is my battles. Here, if I go there, you can see that I am using Nita here with a space in a speed team with Rista to increase her potential, and this is doing a crazy amount of damage, so I can win a lot of fights thanks to that. And also Nordak here is protecting my team and also increasing the HP of my AhkTaar, and so my AhkTaar deals more damage and he protects my entire team, so this is a great team to have. Okay, so Nita was the first pick, and then what should you pick? I guess it depends on your account and what content you want to focus on. If you want to have more damage against the guild boss, and this is what I'm gonna this is the advice I'm gonna give you, maybe Ben Austin should be your third mythic hero pick until he is exclusive 3-2. Always increase the exclusive of your heroes to 3, okay? Ben Austin is gonna make all your heroes pursue the targets. That means they are gonna use a basic attack every time he's gonna use the ultimate here. And this is great if you are using direct damage dots, because you can apply more dots, you can put more direct damage. If you have some heroes that can apply some debuffs on the basic attack, such as a defense down, for example, or a feebleness, such as Catherine, then he is gonna be a great hero too, okay? So this is the third pick. Also in PvP he is interesting, really strong, because outside of that he can remove all the buffs from the target before all your heroes pursue it, okay? Really strong, and he put the block buff on the target, and this is really annoying for your opponent. He is not gonna be able to put some buffs on this hero, and so it's gonna be way easier to kill him. Then he protects your heroes from taking control effects. Here you have 28% chance to cleanse all control effects on one target if someone attempts to inflict a control on you, okay? It can occur on all your heroes at once, and if it's the case, he puts also a resistance up 50% on the hero. This is so great, and with the first active skill he can increase the cooldowns of all enemies by up to 2 turns. You're gonna need a lot of effects hit though, but it's really powerful for both PvP and the guild boss, okay? If you have a look to the guild boss here on the milestone ranking, the best teams are all using Ben Austin, okay? As you can see, Ben Austin is in every team almost. This one is an exception, okay? Full poison team without Nita. You can use Nita in that one. It's still, instead of Veronica, you are gonna do the same amount of damage almost. You have him also on the Weathering Cost here. If you have a look on the rankings, on the teams used, for example here, Ben Austin, where is Ben? Yeah, here, on the highest damage team, okay? And if you have a look here, it's gonna be the same. Highest damage. Here you have also Ben Austin here on the highest damage, okay? This is an amazing hero for that. But you won't see him in PvE in dungeons, okay? In PvP you can see him. If I go there, you can see him in my teams. He is here with that team, okay? It's also my classic arena team, so he is an amazing hero. If you have a look also on my classic arena team, you have Ben Austin, okay? And if you have a look to the rankings, normally, okay, here you don't have Ben Austin. Here you have a Ben Austin in top 2. Top 3 Ben Austin, top 4 you have also Ben Austin. You have Ben Austin almost everywhere. Okay, no Ben Austin here, but okay. So, then the fourth pick you want to take. There are multiple choices in fourth, okay? Depending on your on the content you want to focus on then. If you want to focus on PvP, Brynhild is probably the best hero to have, but remember that in order to have an efficient Brynhild, you need a crazy stuff on her, and mine is not great at the moment. She is lacking some defense, she has a lot of crit damage, she is lacking some speed, some crit rate, and some effect resistance, and she needs a crazy aura in order to deal more damage. In fact, Brynhild is great because she has two different forms. In the first form, she has more effect resistance and she takes less damage, okay? She is gonna remove all the buffs from enemies using that skill and hypnotize them for one turn. She can silence them on the basic attack. It cannot be cleansed, so it's really interesting. She can transform her to the second form here. She can apply a unique buff to one of your heroes, applying a kind of counter attack, but in fact it's a Brynhild that is gonna counter attack if your other hero is gonna be attacked. And this buff is the equivalent to a consolidation too, so it's interesting. And also she can deal a crazy amount of damage using the basic attack, ignoring immortal damage immunity and the shield. And once she transforms back to the other form, she reduces all the cooldowns of all your heroes, which is pretty strong in fact. But as I said, you need crazy stuff to use her, and normally if you want to use her correctly, you need heroes such as Esther exclusive 3, so she's gonna be immune to dots, to controls, and deal more damage with her skills. So it's really strong. Also, she is great because of her passive here in that form. She will always counter-attack every time she takes an attack and counter-attack all enemies. So if you are playing her with some leech, and this is a counter Brynhild, she's gonna heal a lot. Okay? But outside of that, outside of PvP, you don't have her in any PvE team. And then you have Lucifer and Lucia. They are equivalent. Lucifer in direct damage, but he is better for PvP than Lucia. He is great in PvE against bosses, but it's gonna depend on the team you are gonna use. You need a Rista or an Esther using with him, so he's gonna deal more damage. He is a stealth. If he kills an enemy using the ultimate and he deals a crazy amount of damage with the ultimate, he's gonna dive down all enemies and he's gonna launch that skill on another random enemy, which is pretty strong. But today you have a Nicholas in front of you in PvP and you can't one-shot enemies using that skill, so you want crazy stats on him and a shield smash aura in order to deal a lot of damage. You use only the basic attack or that one to get stealth again. But if you are playing him with Pauline, you don't care about that skill, you can use that one only because Pauline is gonna put him stealth again. And with that skill, you deal 3 stages of attack to a single target. If you are using him with Benosin, you can destroy the entire enemy team. If you kill an enemy with the first or the second stage of attack here, the second and or the third attacks are gonna be on another hero directly at random. Really strong unit. Lucia is a bleeder. She needs some crit, crazy stats because she needs some mastery, effect hit, crit rate, crit damage, and attack. Okay, every time she crits, she's gonna play some bleeds on enemies using that skill. She's gonna deal a lot of damage because she has also a lot of piercing rate. She needs some turns in order to be efficient because you need to cast 5 times a skill to get the soul core here or kill some enemies to get more. And once it's the case, you are gonna deal more damage, okay? She is really interesting. She can be nice in PvP against the teams that doesn't have a block debuff, or in PvE against the guild boss, but outside of that in dungeons she's not great because she is only single target, and so it's gonna be hard to cleave waves using her. But she's great also in the Elemental City. Then you have Melchior with a recent rework. He's interesting but really hard to play because he has 3 different forms here, and basically at the beginning of the wave you have 2 elements of each. You have thunder, fire, and darkness, and if you have 3 thunder on him, you can use the advanced skill basic attack here. It's gonna consume the layers and you are gonna be back to 0 thunder, but you can still use the fire layers to use that enhanced skill, advanced skill, and then it's gonna go back to 0 layers again, and every turn he's gonna get another layer. Every time you are gonna use 1 skill with less than 2 layers of the element, you are gonna get directly 3 elements. That means you can cast again an advanced skill. It's really hard to understand the mechanic of the hero, but he has some utilities here. He can steal all the buffs from all enemies and deal some attack to them and reduce their tenacity and have some leech. He can deal a lot of damage using the second skill here with some crit guaranteed if the target has some debuffs, and increase his damage here if you are using the fire element. And here on the basic attack, he's gonna ignore immortal, shield and damage immunity, have a lot of piercing rate, and deal a lot of damage a single target with a 100% chance to stun the target. And so that hero is great for PvP. Also, he's immune to silent, horrify and provoke, and has no cooldown on the skills, so you can't increase his skills using a Ben Austin or Ina, and this is giving to you a great advantage. But he is hard to manage in auto, so it's up to you to pick him, but really interesting. And then you have Madalena. Madalena is great for PvP because she deals multiple stages of damage using a skill, but you are gonna need heroes such as Bizudon, Rister to increase her damage, or even Esther, and then using that you can nuke the entire enemy team. She is great for that, but outside of that she is bad in all content in the game, okay? PvP only, and she needs a rework today, okay? She's nice, but only if you're using the right heroes, and probably it's gonna be the next hero to be reworked. And finally, you have AhkTaar. He is interesting, but a bit limited. Some players are using him with the cheese method. That means you need no exclusives on him. If he dies, he's gonna give that unique buff to your strongest attacker in your team, and for every enemy this guy is gonna kill, then it's gonna increase your attack and effect hit by 40% up to 160% in total, the damage, okay? 160% more damage to your heroes with that buff, and 160% more effect hit. This is super efficient, this method, but if he dies, you have only 4 heroes. If you increase his exclusives, he's gonna put an attack buff 40% on your heroes. He's interesting to lower the defense and the tenacity of all targets by 60% using the ultimate, to freeze all enemies, especially because he doesn't require to have a lot of effect hit. He can freeze all enemies super easy using that skill, and horrify. 2 controls at once, making him really interesting. And on the basic attack, he's gonna deal a lot of damage with some leech and get more turn meta. If you're using him with a Rister or a Ben Austin, he's gonna get turn meta every time he is gonna pursue the target or counter attack. Really strong unit. You can use him in all content in the game. But he is not that efficient today. He's not doing that much damage. The controls are interesting against waves only. In PvP, okay, but there is a lot of heroes to cleanse, so it's hard to play him. And the defense down, tenacity down can help you a lot. But yeah, he's interesting, but not the best. And finally, you have Luna. She's interesting to revive one of your heroes, to steal your heroes, to increase your attack by 40%, to heal, to put a block debuff on your heroes, increase your attack, increase your turn meta, and hypnotize the target. But today she is not played, she needs a rework, okay? Then in terms of faction abyss, Luna is interesting here, okay? Melchior is doing a great job here, doing a lot of damage. Madalena is not a great hero for faction abyss. Nordak mandatory, Ben Austin mandatory, Nita mandatory. Here Lucia mandatory in the faction abyss too. AhkTaar is mandatory too. Lucifer is not mandatory. You have other solutions, and here she is not designed for the faction abyss. So that was all for that. So if I have to do a resume, first pick Nordak, best support, and played in both PvP, PvE, and also on the guild boss, depending on the team you are using. Then Nita, great DPS, nuking the entire team, waves, the PvP teams, etc., and bosses, great for all content. So second pick. Third pick, more for guild boss to progress faster in the game, to get more rewards every week, and for PvP to protect your team and destroy the enemy team. And fourth pick, probably if you are focusing on PvP, Brynhild. Otherwise, you can pick Lucifer, AhkTaar, or Melchior. Melchior and Lucifer mostly for PvP, or it's gonna depend if you have a great damage dealer team for guild boss. He's also interesting against Gwyneth because of the silver wand he can put here without the need of effect hits. AhkTaar to control in PvP, PvE and enhance your damage, direct damage, and Lucia for the guild boss mainly, and that's pretty all. That's pretty all, and her only for PvP. So that was all for the video. I hope you enjoyed it. If it's the case, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and then see you in the next one. Bye bye.